ABC. I'm the rep for all the Carrier products, so when we're done, again, if you need my card or I'll just change numbers, we'll get an email. So first thing is the VFD. So all the equipment here on site, both this 50LC and the one next door, meaning electrical heat, have a VFD. Okay, the VFD basically ramps the unit's fan up and down based on static, because we have VAVs here. So the VAVs open up, speeds up, comes down. Okay, we have process controller for your building automation system. That's with ABC, or I don't know if they're still doing it, but the equipment that's downstairs is from ABC. So that's the building automation contractor. They basically are talking to my unit through this box, and the other one has the same thing. This is address 1 and 2, or however it may be. So if we lose any kind of communication, as far as when you get this up and running, we always want to make sure that on the board here, if you want to come over, that we don't have any red lights down here. See, there's an error light. So if this is an error, so it says run blinking green, next to it's an error light. If it's an error light, it'll show an alarm, or if there's any point that they've pulled on the BAS, high pressure, low pressure, whatever kind of trip there is, will come up as either a general alarm, or if they have a sensor hooked up to the BAS, it'll tell you exactly what the problem is, okay?
Yeah.
All right. You have a building pressure sensor, okay? Excuse me, you have a duct pressure. So this is our static. So if anything happens as far as you're not feeling air, or the air is so violent it's like shaking stuff, it's because our pressure transducer is reading the pressure and saying to the fan, hey, there's no pressure down there, we need to speed it up, or there's a ton of pressure, slow it down. So if there's any kind of problem with that, this is what we want to check first. Okay, this is 4 to 20 milliamps. So I don't know if you have a milliamp meter or not.
Yeah.
You can get one. Basically 4 being stop, 20 being full go. It'll measure it, you know, as far as it's open. That also being that we have building pressure as well here. I don't see the building pressure sensor. So we need to look at this. We need to talk to whoever to figure out if the BAS contractor is installing it or if we needed to supply it. But this basically, when the building pressure gets higher, that's what the power exhaust is. Okay, so if we have economizer, meaning free cooling, basically less than 55 degrees outside, the fresh air will come in to make cooling. If the building pressure becomes over pressurized, we turn our exhaust on. That's not going to happen unless they're doing something different, because there's no building pressure transducer in there. So we need to make sure we get you set up, or we need to figure out what's up with that. So I'll take notes on this and I'll get with you guys on it. Okay. Controller for the building pressures in here. It's also got a VFD. This is all factory set. You shouldn't have to worry about anything. In the event, once the building pressure transducer gets installed, if your fighting doors won't close and this isn't on, then you can again call me, or we'll get you whoever service technicians are. Are you guys still doing? You guys in charge for a year on this?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so either they'll reach out to me, or I can work with you, or they'll send somebody out. We'll need to see to make sure that this is right. Okay. Belts in here, one on each side for each build fan.
Okay.
Okay. Access panels for here. Access panels for here. Belts. Okay. Filters, obviously. The racks come out. So pull them out. For the most part, clean. You know how that goes. You
Yeah.
see light through it, you know.
Yep.
Not a big deal. This unit obviously got 3 rows of them, 3 across, so 9 of the 16 by 25. Okay. Main baseboard. Talking to this. So if this says to make cooling, sends a signal down here, relay closes. It says to make heat, sends signal to this, heat closes. Whatever it needs to do, this is talking to this, okay? So again, if there's ever an error light on this, reset the unit, turn it back on. If it consists or it continues to error out, then there's something in the unit wrong. We can troubleshoot it with it. Okay.
Yep.
This is obviously your duct static, as I said. We'll need to get the building pressure static. This is to shut the fan and anything else off to anything in here. Okay. You also have a disconnect here, 120 volts, which this is fed separate. Typically we can hook it up through our unit, but as City of Chicago states, it's got to be on a separate 120, so that's on downstairs. Contactors for the compressors, and the fan is driven by the VFD, so you're not going to have any contact or anything as far as that goes. In the event, okay, that your VFD is down, okay, and we can't get air, these 3 wires here have jumpers. These 3 have jumpers.
Okay.
Jump it together, it'll just run full blast. We have to be careful because you have VAVs. So we would need to make sure that the VAVs are opening so we don't explode ductwork. I doubt we would, but for safety reasons, if we do this, because there's something wrong with this, okay, and we find the drive's dead or there's something wrong with it, and we need to get air, we need to make sure the box is open, okay? Same thing, pressure status here for prover, okay? Dirty filters. So electric SCRs, those are the relays. SCR relay being, there's going to be one call for heat. If the temperature doesn't get up fast enough, it'll bring the other one on, it'll stage it. So you don't need to worry about anything else other than just your 24 volts coming off of that. That's really it. All fused. If we have anything dead or blown in here, we need to check the windings of the coil, obviously, and go across these to make sure we haven't had any kind of electrical break or we haven't had a wire bust or any of the electric coil. It's standard. Instead of just bringing it on in one, we'll stage it now. Okay? So that's pretty self-explanatory. That right here is our limit.
Yep.
So if anything trips there, it'll trip the contactors, which pull in the or trip the SCR relays, which bring the contactors.
Okay.
Okay. Current sensing relay. The fan's not running, nothing's gonna run. So if you come up here and the fan's running, if you look on this, you see a red light means on.
Yep.
If it's not running, mini screwdriver, try to get it adjusted to see. If you can't get it to adjust, unfortunately with this, the automation would have to override the alarm. Okay, or I would have to come out, log into the computer, and override the alarm. So there's really nothing I can personally do with that, okay? So at the end of the day, that's what that is. Smoke alarm here, okay? If you have a smoke trip, or you have any kind of alarm, come on over to the side. The board down here has 5 LEDs.
Yep.
High pressure, low pressure, whatever pressure, if something in the BAS isn't picking it up, and you come up to the unit, you'll get a flash code. Right here on the side is your 5 LEDs.
Yeah.
You just find what the flash code is. Okay, so like I said, if it was a smoke trip, we'd get this smoke remote trip, and it would be LED 1 off, 2 would be red, 3 would be green. So 3 would be blinking and 2 would be on, and we would just look at the nomenclature on this and it would tell us what the alarm is. So at the end of the day, BAS or not, if the unit's down because of an alarm internally, you can always look here. Okay, so no matter what, you have a way to at least diagnose it. At that point, we can do our normal troubleshooting and figure out what's wrong with it. Okay, so this unit is set up for 12. This is our first number in our BAS, that's our second number. So I'm assuming that's probably going to be 11, but we can go look when we get over there. Okay, all of the manuals are here.
Yep.
Okay, here's the cord. Oh, it is in here. Okay, good. So you have one.
Okay.
So here's your patch cord.
Yep.
Patch cord in.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Good. So in the event If you look on here, there'll be a red light or something blinking. If it's not working, we need to plug this in.